Here's how it's go. We're all each gonna pick in this case a Navy uniform, and then we're gonna give a little review and a rating. Andy, why don't you start off? Pick a uniform.
All right. I mean, let's start with one of the best ones. Let's go with the coveralls there. I see. And that's clearly an S tier.
Any particular reason?
Yeah, it's the best uniform. It was the underwear uniform of choice. It was comfortable as hell. It was like easy to get in and out of relatively. It was kind of like a do-all kind of thing. Like, it wasn't a huge deal if it got dirty because like it wasn't typically wasn't really an inspection ready uniform. It was just kind of like a working uniform. Again, we wore it underway all the time. It was comfortable, chill out, plenty of pocket space, pockets. It was good times.
Josh, what's your rating
on the
coveralls?
Coveralls, man, the picture you chose, you're on land. I enjoyed those too, but no iron required. Most of the time. I mean, the higher ups had their shit pressed and stuff, but yeah, you just don't want to. I mean, it's just like a pair of coveralls like you would buy at the store, and then it you wore your belt, and you were good to go. I mean, very simple. I know, like I said in the picture, they're on land, but we only wore them out at sea.
Yeah,
we were not allowed to wear those things off the boat.
Mm-hmm. Unless you were doing like some deep cleaning, crazy stuff like in a barracks.
Let's give it a rating, Josh. What do you got?
I'm not gonna say the best uniform because I don't think it's the best looking in public and stuff, but I would say I'm gonna give it an A.
Joe.
You really wear a belt with coveralls, and by that I mean I'm not talking about putting the belt on. I mean, who actually clipped their belt to where it was fitting like a belt with those things? I basically had a fucking hula hoop on most of the time. At the very end of it, like, nah, I ain't buckling this thing. Like, I'm always ready for the buffet when I'm wearing my coveralls. Right. The as comfortable as silk pajamas, and probably just as durable. All that you need is a t-shirt and a pair of underwear. Underwear optional.
Optional, yeah.
Optional. The only downside to this uniform that I can see is the fact that it has to come completely off of your body if you want to take a dump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're
you cannot. Oh, or if you sit to pee. There is no way.
No, but I mean, like, if you're a woman, you're used to like getting naked if you're wearing a dress or anything, or a romper or something like that. Like, you're just getting naked to go to the bathroom all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not a big deal.
I know I do.
Yeah, sometimes I pop my shirt off when I'm pooping, but
George
Costanza style. But
hot in there.
In this, I mean, you can these things you can't touch the floor of the bathroom anyway. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Unless you're the one that just cleaned the floor and you haven't stopped, like nobody's coming in there yet, then you can leave your uniform on the floor. But yeah, as soon as that water starts bucking out of the urinals and shit and sloshing across the floor for 3 or 4 hours, I'm not letting anything touch it. So with that being said, uniform to me, I mean, I have to take it off to go to the bathroom. Wait. Do I only get one rating for each?
No, you could be multiple. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, let me give that thing an A. And it's a great uniform, but I can't poop in it.
Drew.
It wouldn't be very fun for anyone.
Drew.
I mean, I could poop in it, it'd be terrible.
Don't poop in your uniform. First of all, Dude, top tier, easily the best uniform. While yes, you do have to take it off to poop, it is also ultra comfortable to do that. But you can easily pee in it. Easy to get your dick out in that thing, right? You can zip it from the top or the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Bottom.
Yep.
Fucking bottom. Come on. It was ultra comfortable. You didn't have to think about it. You just jump in that shit and you're good to go. Easily the most comfortable, like Joe said, silk pajamas. I loved them, man. Top tier. S for me.
How many days in a row can you wear the same coveralls as an FC?
Fucking
22?
Realistically,
5.
5.
Ooh,
boom,
damn.
definitely. I'm rolling the whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending
Easily
on what
one-
I do. If I get salt water on them and you can tell I've been salty, they got to go. At that
What
point,
was-
I can't. have
But you
noticed
had
it.
a pair of like unrep coveralls. You had like a pair
Yeah.
of like shitty coveralls. that you-
Painting coveralls.
Yeah,
Well, so,
painting
yeah. How
coveralls.
many pair were we required to have, or
Two.
was there a minimum? Just 2,
I
really?
think I had 5 of those fuckers, man. I had
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah, I probably had 4. Like you
Yeah.
were, I think you get issued 2,
Mhm.
and then you end up wearing them on the ship a lot, so you get like 2 more going.
Did we
Uh,
get
yeah,
issued those in boot camp? Those coveralls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but you couldn't trust laundry to get it back in time, so you had to have like 5 pairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ari, in your personal opinion, how would you rate this uniform? This Navy uniform?
Well, I feel like this uniform, I can smell it. I know exactly
the
what it
unwrap
smells
pair.
like. It has a very distinct smell to it, and it smells like the ship, which is like burned into my brain. I know
Oh,
exactly.
no.
So I like that. I think that's a plus.
Oh,
It's nostalgic for me, so that's not a bad thing. But I can smell it. I know exactly what they feel like. I think they're like very lightweight and look comfortable. I know Drew always liked wearing them. And usually if I actually saw him in the coveralls, it meant I was on the ship, which was very rare. So I think that's kind of cool too. So I'm going to give it an A.
Nice.
Sabrina.
I freaking love this uniform. As a mechanic, it was my daily wear uniform, especially my first couple of years in the Navy. And it's just super comfortable. It was good for all weather. Like you could put layers on underneath when it was cold, because I'd be on that flight deck in the middle of winter, and then I was also on that flight deck in the middle of summer, and you could be pretty much naked underneath that. Nobody knew. It was awesome. And it was also the only uniform that wasn't fitted. So I felt
Yeah.
completely uninhibited. And also I wasn't concerned about any dudes checking out my butt, which was a big deal to me. Being surrounded by dudes. And so for me, this is and I agree, Ari, I can remember the smell because I could not get the smell of like JP5 and grease like out of these, no matter what I wash them in. So this is definitely my favorite uniform. This is definitely getting an S.
Pretty split, I think.
Yeah, everything has already been said. I give it an S tier as well. So I'm just gonna move it into the S. Josh.
What Josh say about the uniform? Did he give it an S?
Yes, sir.
Oh well, I kind of want to change now.
Nope.
Well,
Too late.
what if I don't? I don't even know if I'll have an S.
No, you really like pooping,
That's
and
fine.
these make pooping awkward.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
Josh,
Taking off your
why
clothes
don't
and-
you pick the next uniform?
I'm gonna go with my favorite, which was the utilities, man.
Okay.
I still wear my utility shirt. I wore my utility shirt the other day.
These are dungarees, by the way.
or dungarees, excuse me.
What none of us
no,
wore.
oh,
These are
dungarees.
dungarees. This is the
Okay.
our utility.
Utilities.
Different.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't
And, bell
experience
bottoms.
dungarees.
Josh, why don't you start it off then? Tell us your opinion and give us a rating.
I like the utilities because I like the shirt because it was like it was like a work shirt, so it was kind of conform. It was kind of tailored to the body. It wasn't like loose and baggy like the coveralls are.
He felt good in these.
Yeah, and then you had those cool pants. I don't know. I kind of dress like that now. I know I can't see anything, but I enjoy that type of wear, and I really enjoy. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. That was the one uniform that we probably wore the most. I would imagine. I don't know. Out of all of us, it's probably the utilities. Probably the one we wore the most. I always had it. I always had inspection utilities set to the side that we always wore in for inspections. Maybe I don't know if y'all believe that or not.
No.
I don't know. It's a versatile uniform. I was kind of upset they got away with they got away from them.
They don't make 'em
They just
anymore?
look good. The embroidery, the how the patches and stuff looked. They were just a sharp looking uniform. I thought they were a sharp looking working uniform. I'm sorry, I've just been all I can elaborate on.
What do you rate it
I
at?
don't- Dude, that's my favorite. I'm gonna go with an S on that one.
All right.
Joe.
I have things that I appreciate about this, and then Josh brings up a lot of other good points that make me appreciate the uniform even more. I don't know. It's kind of just a clean look, unless you're filthy. Deck Seaman, I'm looking at you guys, but the pants weren't uncomfortable. The shirt was not uncomfortable, and you get the sleeves lopped off of them, and then like as soon as you get off the ship or you get to your car and you untuck your shirt,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
I wore my utilities. I'd wear my utilities until like 6 o'clock at night, sometimes 7 o'clock. Go home and sit on the couch and just chill out of my utilities. Kick my boots off, maybe.
At least the pants and the
Unbutton your
white shirt.
pants,
But the belt was getting loosened up. The shirt was getting untucked. Shit, utilities. I kind of like them, I guess. And I think the last time I had on my utility shirt was when I was like 31, maybe.
Mm.
And it fit pretty snugly. Now I don't think that some bitch is getting anywhere near me. I still have it. I still have I still have some coveralls too, by the way. But I just never slap them on to see what's gonna get out in the yard or anything. I think it'd be kind of weird.
What are we rating this at?
I'm not giving it an S. I can't do that. And if I got it, I'm gonna give it a B.
Man, think about all the cool pewter belt buckles you could get and stuff like
Oh,
that.
man.
The fact that the pants can be used as a flotation device, give me an A.
You can
Give
do
me
that
an
with the
A.
other uniforms.
Drew,
I
go for it, dude.
All right. So this uniform, like it is like I don't know, it's not good looking. Come on, man. This shit is not good looking. You look like some sort of fucking mechanic that doesn't, I don't even know.
works on a $1 billion machine.
However, I mean, let's be honest, how many times have we drank 40s in half of this uniform, right? Like, so there's a lot of nostalgia. We wore this all the time in port. I mean, it makes, I'll tell you what, a great Halloween costume for shipwreck. So based on that alone and the nostalgia factor of the dress down of this one was super cool. I think I felt like a kind of like James Dean, just having the white shirt, the slacks and the boots, drinking a 40. I'm gonna give it a C. But because it's not good looking, it really is not a good looking uniform. But it's practical, it's comfortable, and yeah, I mean we wore it too much. I never had short sleeves though. I always had long.
That was a big deal, wasn't it?
You couldn't really.
Some
you couldn't
commands
wear the
wouldn't
short
allow
sleeves on
it,
the
or
ship because of you couldn't wear it for firefighting.
That's
right.
what
But
it was.
other
yeah.
people, I remember like maybe it was in school that I remember that or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember,
Yeah,
but
like school
look,
training
I
commands you could do
never
it.
never had a pair of short sleeve utilities.
If you got
Always
if you got good at rolling your sleeves up, you'd look pretty fucking tough with
Yeah.
your sleeves rolled up on this uniform too.
Yeah.
I like to go for just a half roll up my forearms, so it looked like I was like pumping up iron and shit, but really I was like, I don't know, twisting knobs or something,
Ari,
changing light bulbs.
Ari.
Okay, so I also feel like this uniform smells exactly like the coveralls. So that's my rating on that. It smells like the ship. I feel like Drew was in these pants and a white shirt all the time.
Yeah.
I definitely borrowed a lot of those belts for various other things that I used this belt all the time myself because you could size it however you wanted. Like you could make it however. So
Right.
like if
Exactly.
so I would borrow I have pictures of me in like normal clothes, but this belt or the white belt. But yeah, I don't know. It's not like the most attractive uniform, but I do like the like after hours version of the utilities. So I'm gonna give it a B.
Sabrina.
So my boot camp wave was the first wave that didn't get issued this uniform. So I never had to touch it, but I saw them because they, you get that transition period time. I never dealt with it myself. It seemed like a lot more work than the NWUs or the coveralls, which were our go-tos and for our daily wear. And yeah, I don't think it's like the most attractive uniform, but it's not terrible. I'm pretty neutral about it, so I think I'm just gonna call it short and give it a C. I would also like to
What were
add
some
that-
of the difference in the female? Was there a bunch of a difference between the male and the females on these?
it didn't look like it
Yeah.
compared to like because when I went to A school and stuff, there were people there that had them still, and it looked like the exact same clothing that might have just been like wider on the hips for the pants or something like that.
Right.
Where did you
Like,
get this
because most of the
picture?
uniforms did that. The like the NWUs and stuff like that, they all had it was almost exactly the same as the males. It's just they kind of actually I think it was exactly the same as the males because they all had that little bell at the bottom of the
Oh.
blouse. Anyways, I'm giving this a C, but I did want to say that when we were in boot camp, we learned how to use our coveralls as a flotation device. So you were covered. No worries.
That's why they call them coveralls.
God, couldn't you imagine going overboard with your utilities and being like, "Oh shit, I need my coveralls to make a flotation
Yeah.
device."
I just want to say that as far as the utilities, like I like them a lot. I think they look nice from a military application. And when this is a import working uniform, and like when you're doing like promotions, awards and stuff, like a Starstruck utility uniform looks fucking nice as hell. It's crisp, sharp edges, shined up boots. I think that's a sharp looking fucking uniform. And because of that, I'm giving it an A. Andy?
Yeah, so this uniform kind of sucked like a lot. You
Well,
wore the shit out of it. This was,
Pouring
we
rain
wore
on this
you
one.
wore it most of the time at boot camp. Sure was easy to like iron and press up, and it would look decent, when you got like good creases and stuff going on in it. But basically the Navy said, hey, we had the dungarees and those were really good. What if we took the look and then made it way less durable and kind of suck? They had like the durability of like -5. They tore at a fucking, if you looked at a sharp edge, The pants would wear out or whatever, like you kneeled, down to like pick up something, and then your knees were scuffed and like never returned back to normal.
Yeah, a lot of work.
I want to say that like when we were doing like the boot camp swim qual and all, like that it was a dungaree pant, not those pants that we use for flotation, but I could be wrong. So I'm not sure exactly, like, because these were like fairly new when we went through in like 2000, 2001, I want to say. These kind of like, the other instructors and stuff I remember that we had remember the dungarees said these were more like the prison uniform, but so were the dungarees. It was a prison uniform, for sure. It was kind of the stigma to it. I don't know, like, it was simple though, so like that was decent. I remember once having to buy like a new utility shirt for a DITS inspection, accidentally bought a fucking short sleeve one, which did me no fucking good because you couldn't wear that for the inspection. So that was like a waste of like $30 between getting a crow and name tapes and everything else put on that thing. And I don't think I ever ended up wearing that utility shirt. Like it was a lost cause. Because it wasn't like I ever went to shore duty for instructor duty or anything like that. Yeah, I think probably C's probably about right, I guess.
So collectively, that's about between a B and a C, averaging out. Joe, pick the next uniform.
Let's go to the gold top.
The PT uniform.
This
PT
one?
uniform.
Absolutely,
PT.
yes.
Good for me. Good for you.
All right, kick it off.
All right. It's great.
Did we
isn't
wear
it?
a gold top or we wore white tops, didn't we?
We had white.
We didn't have
tops.
the PT uniform.
The-
Oh, I thought I was just going off with the blue shorts and the white
Yeah.
shirts that we got in boot camp with our New Balances.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
New
wasn't
Balance.
official.
This guy, I mean, do what more could you want? I guess. It's shorts and a t-shirt and a pair of shoes.
But his shirt is tucked in.
Remember those awkward shorts? They had like those.
elastic
They had like a liner on the inside. Remember?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like
This
symptoms.
guy looks like this stereotypical neighbor from like a comedy movie that like, hey, want to come over for sausages?
Well, we're not
Like-
we're not rating the guy, we're rating the uniform.
Yeah, but look
But
at
the
his
u-
face. You just
These
want to
were
hate
all
it.
unisex too. I remember that.
Oh yeah, it's a good uniform. I mean, it's short shirts and a pair of shoes. I mean, there's not much else to really say about it. It's a t-shirt.
He's not
I
wearing
think
a
the short-
hoodie. He's not wearing a hoodie because all the girlfriends have them.
Yeah.
I still have mine.
Yeah. Aries still wears it sometimes.
Oh,
I
nice,
wear it
nice.
regularly.
I got my sister one for Christmas once. She still wears it.
Can
It's
we rate the hoodie?
I guess I wish that it
The
was the
sweat?
whole uniform with the hoodie and the sweatpants and everything, because that
Also
hoodie and
have sweatpants.
sweatpants was that was pretty cool. After boot camp, I still rocked that shit for a while. But yeah, I mean, give it credit for what it does, man. It's a B.
Dang.
It's a B. I mean, you're not going to get fucking Nike to just start making affordable clothing. I guess they could if they, really wanted to. I'm sure they're paying their workers a whole bunch.
So the only time
So-
we really had a uniform for PT was like in boot camp and like A school maybe, but the rest of the time we just wore whatever
EFT.
we
Well, for your
wanted to wear.
PFTs,
You had to wear official dress for PFTs.
yeah.
Nope,
I don't think so.
Well,
No.
I did.
I didn't
We didn't.
have to.
you did. That's because
We
you
were
were
there,
in the
and
other
then we would
Navy.
have like command PT every once in a while, like
Yeah.
once a month or once a week. We would have command PT, and it'd all have to show up in this get up together.
Hey Drew, what do you
You
got?
had to for a minute.
I mean, it's just like athletic gear, man. It's nothing special. I guess like for nostalgia purposes, if we are rating like the previous, like with the hoodie and everything, I think it would be a little bit higher, but
It's called the Smurfs. The Smurfs, is that what they
Yeah,
call it?
Smurfs.
Smurf or
yeah,
which is-
and that
yeah.
the big ass reflective Navy SEAL on the front of there. I'd give it a C as well. It's like pretty mediocre, like you can't really complain about wearing it because one, you're not working, that's for sure. And two, you're just chilling, man. So, but you can wear the shirt. I guess like you're not really wearing it too often because it is like your boot camp, and that's very much a booter thing to do. But I'd say C.
Ari?
Okay, so I don't recognize this particular combination of clothing that Drew ever had.
That's
Like, I
fine.
think-
Rate what you see.
So I have to rate this and not what he wore. That would
Correct.
really.
You have to rate this.
This is horrible.
Yes.
This is so horrible, you guys. Like he has a t-shirt tucked into elastic waisted athletic.
You had to have
That
that
was part of
t-shirt
the
tucked in,
uniform.
dude. You had to have a t-shirt
I
tucked in.
know,
That-
but
that was
I'm
it.
rating
tuck
it.
it in.
Yeah, I'm rating it based on whether from my perspective, which
Yeah.
is not having to wear this, but looking at this picture, it's just bad. Like those are not even good sneakers, or like I don't
Those
know.
are New Balance. Those are issued sneakers. Those are government issued
Ugh.
sneakers.
That
Those are the
doesn't make
best
them
the government
good.
has.
I mean, I'm sorry you guys had to wear this, so I give it. I give it a E.
Dang.
It's not good.
No bueno.
Fair.
Sabrina.
I think I'm gonna call this my least favorite uniform out of all those that I'm seeing that could possibly happen. I hated wearing this uniform. Nobody looks good in this uniform. Nobody felt particularly athletic or fit in this uniform because it would always hug like you saw everybody's body in this uniform and it was just nothing but judgment, and you couldn't untuck your shirt. So even if you had like a little belly or a roll or man boobies or whatever, nobody felt good or ready in this uniform. And that liner sucked and I hated it so much. The only good thing about this uniform is the hoodie. So
But we can't rate the hoodie, right? Because if I were rating the hoodie,
No.
it's
Okay.
not there. So like
Yeah.
nobody liked this uniform. Was it acceptable to exercise in? I guess so, but personally I like feeling good when I'm exercising, so I don't get all uncomfortable and be like, well, I'm gonna leave the gym now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give this an F because I hated it. I absolutely hated this uniform. I got rid of him a long time ago. That was the only uniform I was like instantly trashed.
This uniform is trash. It looks awful. Even like the physical specimens in the Navy, they look terrible in this uniform. Like dudes, women, if you had like thick thighs, those shorts were riding up all the way to the top, and
Oh, they were.
there's nothing great about this uniform, and I also give it an F. Andy.
Yeah, this was a prime example of the military coming up with problems that didn't exist and solving them to try and pat themselves on the back. There was no reason to ever have this uniform. In fact, like I remember specifically was it the I don't know, was it like the class sponsor or whatever the hell it was, like our like when we were in A school, we had like you had a fleet returnee, whatever, like a second or first class that was like it wasn't the class leader, but he was like the class
Section
staff,
leader or something like that, or
I don't know, whatever he was or whatever. He was like, there was no, the Navy doesn't like, there is no PT uniform. Like, when we had PT back in the day, like you just, even if it was command PT with like A school or whatever, tech or anything like that, it was just go in PT gear, workout clothes. And then they're like, we should, standardize things because you had people from different eras of boot camp, whether we had the Smurfs, the white top, and the blue sweats and all that, or this thing and all that. Like, well, let's make everybody do this, and it'll work itself out. And it was just like not needed. So, yeah, sure, it's a fucking pair of shorts and t-shirt. I can't imagine the brain trust that came up with that idea. Well, what do we need? We need a PT uniform. What should we, Oh, and the Navy colors are blue and gold. All right. Fuck.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Somebody give this guy a raise.
Got it.
It's EF. I don't know. It's down there. There's no reason for this to exist.
Damn.
Jeez,
Josh.
Andy.
Josh.
Yeah. My opinion on this photo, I think this is some kind of like chief initiation.
Don't look
thing.
at the dude. Look at the uniform.
Oh yeah, because it's blue and gold. I think
We're gonna
that
judge
us
all these
enlisted-
dudes. We're gonna have a completely different rating.
These enlisted people always wore white and gold. I don't know. Getting into PT gear and boot camp. That's the only time I ever officially got into PT gear was in boot camp.
Or you wore
I
those
think-
shorts all the time.
Those shorts were painted. They had like a liner, and they were almost like swimming trunks. They had like a
Yeah, that was the idea.
liner in them.
You still
And-
wear those types of shorts all the time.
Well, when you're wearing those with underwear, those are, there's a lot of bunching up going on down there, so it wasn't a good thing. As far as a rating, I'm gonna have to rate her down there like in the D. I'm gonna give her a D. The
That's
dirty
too
D.
bad. Nope.
Put
no
down there
Davies.
between D and E. Drew, why don't you pick the next uniform?
All right. I am going dress blues. Yeah.
Kick it
So
off.
I mean, you have a love-hate relationship with this uniform, of course. I think I like it for the tradition. I think it's really cool for that reason. The buttons were always a pain in the ass, of course. If you had to use the bathroom within the next like 10 minutes, you needed
Had to plan.
ample warning to go to the bathroom. Good luck getting relieved on watch, to use the bathroom on these things. But again, I mean, I think they're real slick, real classic. I like the black. Also, you're typically wearing either your medals or just your ribbons. I always really enjoyed wearing mine. I like this uniform. To be honest, I'm gonna throw it up there as an A for me. Right under the coveralls. Even though I didn't like wearing it, I think I appreciate it more now. So the nerd side of me is really, really chilling with this uniform.
Ari?
So I feel like this is the one that Drew wore the least, probably
Mhm.
that I saw. At least, you probably had it on when I wasn't around doing Navy stuff, but
Only
He
by
always
force.
told us,
Only
don't
by
tell Ari
force.
that I'm wearing this uniform right now.
No photos. No photos.
I looked killer in it, so you couldn't see me. No, I was
Drew
kidding.
just wore the top. He didn't wear the bottom.
Winnie the Pooh of the seas.
that would immediately make me rate this extremely low if that were true. I can tell you it's not true.
Mm.
Yeah, so this uniform, I feel like you wore we saw you in it very rarely, I guess, but it was always for something like important that you were doing, which I think is cool. I also like the tradition and like I'm sentimental about it. So I think I like it. It's not my favorite of the dress uniforms. I'm gonna give it a B.
Sabrina?
If I were a man, I would give this a B. But I happen to be a woman, and our version of these dress uniform absolutely sucked because
Oh,
we
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
allowed to wear a Dixie cup. We had those weird
Weird.
hats
Yeah.
and jackets, and it was complicated. And
you could rate whatever. If you want to rate the girl version of it, that's fine. Or if you want to rate this one, it ultimately doesn't matter.
it ultimately doesn't matter. So, because the female version of this was just, we all felt like we would laugh and call each other flight attendants.
Right.
And those hats are really awful because you have to put them in a special box. They get all bent up and whatever. So for that purposes, I always felt really not great in this uniform. I'm gonna go with the D on this one.
Oh well.
For like I said, I'm gonna rate it.
I
for
think the
way I
females,
had to-
y'all had like a little neck thing, like a neck
it was
tie
like a
thing you had to
little-
wear. Yeah.
It
and
was
you had
like a
weird
fake
hat.
necktie that went underneath a collar. So you had to button the collar all the way up here. And then it had like a jacket that was kind of like a chief jacket, but it was fitted. And then like the pants came all the way up to like, well, I guess you guys had that too, when it came up like halfway your torso.
Yeah.
Yeah, your waist.
Yeah.
So,
But
Yeah.
it was the jacket with that weird button down shirt and the hat. Like it was just so much effort to upkeep this uniform.
A
And
lot less than the males for sure. I can tell.
so
Yeah.
bulky. Like it was awful. You always had to carry, you couldn't just pack that hat in your sea bag or the jacket in your sea bag. You had to really care for it. So I hated it.
I just want to I just want to piggyback off of Drew. Like I agree, like in tradition and stuff like that, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that everybody has a watch standing neckerchief and an inspection neckerchief. Ultimately it was pretty uncomfortable to wear. I don't think even in the wintertime it didn't really provide any warmth or anything like that.
Was it made of wool? Was this one wool?
Yeah, wool.
Yeah.
Itchy.
So with
Oh.
all that being said, I'm gonna bump it up a little just based off of tradition and stuff and give it an A.
Oh.
Andy?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there were the obvious drawbacks, the 13 buttons, and everything on the pants. Which was, yeah, like you had to definitely plan out, your bathroom breaks, but like you definitely learned like the secret of like just do the sides, and that would save like 5 minutes. So and nobody would know. The classic, everybody remembers the bell-bottom pants. And like the only like downsides was like the piping was tough to like keep nice and white. But it's the classic uniform. It's the one kind of everybody thinks of or knows. It's the Cracker Jack. It was simple. It worked. You didn't have a lot of like places to hold on to things. So like you had to travel light, so to speak. You just had like
Oh
a little
yeah.
breast pocket for like your ID card, and like, if you had a small wallet, you could put that in your pants, and that was about it. I have to comment on this sailor who's very strange that all he has is a NAM, but he did get dual warfare qualified.
Yeah, it's real strange.
Oh come on.
You
Yeah.
didn't
And
just
his
show all your
chloroforms.
medals and ribbons, right?
Or
You could just
chloroframs,
pick and
rather.
choose.
Top 3.
It's very strange that he never, had enough sea time to get even a sea service ribbon, but yeah. Yeah, it's the only bad thing I can really say about it, aside from like the cleanliness, some of the upkeep issues, was I remember reporting to Dahlgren. I traveled in uniform, and it was March, but it was like, because it was Virginia, it was already like 90 degrees here that year.
Oh yeah,
So,
because
like-
there was a time that the Navy would tell us when to transition to
Yeah,
different.
we didn't swap till like
uniforms, right.
April or something.
Right.
So like I remember like my jumper top got all wrinkled from sitting in the car driving down to Dahlgren from Ohio all day. in that heat. But you know, yeah, it's an A uniform.
Okay.
Josh.
Man, I put those pants on just the other day. I found them at my
Oh, what
parents'
the
house.
fuck?
Josh is
I
so
wanted
weird.
to I wanted to see if I could still fit into them. I
Yeah.
did. It was a little tight, but I got into them. You know, I really enjoy that. It's very traditional. I always felt like a sailor when I had that uniform on, like a true sailor with the nice white hat. I know the old school sailors used to put like designs on the inside of their cuffs. They call it
My
like Liberty
grandpa-
cuffs or something like that.
Yeah,
My
Liberty
grandpa
Cup.
had a bunch of dragons and shit or something like.
So
Oh, the Liberty cuffs.
yeah, and I know you'd always store your uniform. The whole uniform would be stowed inside out.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It would be inside out in the hanger.
Yeah.
The pants would be inside
Because
out.
the
top
creases
would be
were in the
inside out
reverse.
because all the creases were reversed. Remember?
Uh
Yep.
Nope.
huh.
Yeah, the creases were on the
Sorry.
inside instead, like they were creased on the inside instead of the outside. I still stow mine that way on the inside. It's inside out. Y'all don't remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we remember.
Yeah, they all said they remember it.
We, here, man.
Joe's was looking all kinds of crazy. I wasn't sure,
Sorry.
but
That's
yeah, the
normal.
piping was definitely hard to keep clean. That white piping on there. And I always had several neckerchiefs, you know, because we always. It seemed like anytime we wore this inspection, anytime we wore this uniform, we were gonna be inspected somehow, some way. I really liked the uniform. I felt like a sailor wearing it. And wool never really bothered me. I know wool can be itchy for some people, but never really bothered me. There was two front pockets there was two like small front pockets in the front. And then of course you had your inside pocket where you would keep your ID and stuff like that. But I always tuck everything in my sock or whatever. I enjoyed that uniform. The
What do you rate
legs
it?
were very wide, almost like a Jinko jeans. Probably not that extreme, but you know,
What do you rate it?
what do I rate it? I'm gonna put it in the A category because it was a lot of pain in the ass to take care of for sure.
Joe.
I like. I mean, okay. Here's another question. Like, how often did you guys get this cleaned?
Oh,
Once
shit.
a year?
Yeah, once a
Once-
year.
Maybe once a year.
One,
yeah.
maybe once a year.
What's an
All right.
enlistment?
Say again.
Once
What's
an enlistment. Enlisted twice. I got it cleaned twice.
You know, because you wear it for 4 hours and you instantly put it away.
Oh yeah.
You know, you turn it back inside out or whatever. Or, you know, hopefully you're doing it the right way. And everybody's inspection neckerchief. What was it? Just rolled by like the one guy that got hot one day rolling his own neckerchief, and it was like, dude, do mine next. And then everybody just jumped in and just had like.
He
rolling a
probably
neckerchief.
acquired that earlier in life, like rolling blunts or something like that.
Yes.
Or you got one rolled like you couldn't like you get a rolled one from like the Next or like Gloria's or whatever the fuck it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, they would do it for you.
What's your rating, Joe?
You know what? Dude, this thing commands power. A lot of people have worn it over the course of many years. It's always awesome. I give it an S, man. I do. I like it. I think it's a great uniform. It is
I
the
agree
Navy.
with that.
It is the Navy. Period.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nah.
Just for
Hated
time
mine.
now, because unfortunately I'm very aware of the time. We're doing one sentence reviews from here on out.
It's gonna be the longest run-on
Alright.
sentence.
Uh, Ari, pick
Oh,
your
I have to
uniform.
pick.
You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I
Do it all.
can't tell what is the difference. Oh,
I'll go through them.
I want the
NW's.
dress whites. Give me the dress whites. Those. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. This is my favorite uniform, hands down. Also, I like the buttons on the pants. I think it's great. Looks great. I like the white uniform because it's not as hot. I feel like it's maybe the blues feel traditional to you guys like being in the Navy, but I think like this is like classic.
That news neckerchief is really long.
Yeah, it's real weird looking.
Octopus tentacle.
He looks confused about it too.
What's your rating?
It's like he's staring into the sun.
I'm gonna give it an S.
Sabrina.
I also really like this uniform. It did, except for the hat, match the male uniform. So it felt very Navy-like. And I can just keep saying and it'll never end. Or you can annoy me with that. And I'll keep going forever. So anyways, I really like this uniform. Summertime, that means you're comfortable. You're wearing it. It's because you're out and about doing something cool for the Navy.
Did
It-
y'all
like I
still wear
said-
that funny hat with that uniform?
Yeah, we also had to wear, that was the only difference between the female and the male uniform for this uniform, which was why I hated the dress blue so much, because why can't you just have this if you have the same
Right,
uniform everywhere,
exactly.
why would you do it? So anyways, it's lightweight, it's summertime. I wore this out to different, like they had that Baltimore sailing thing weekend and like different fun events. So for me, like I had a lot of fun when I was in this uniform, and it was comfortable, and it had a zipper instead of all those crazy buttons. So no worries. And this is very traditional Navy to me. Like this is classic. This is what I think of before I think of the dress blues personally. I'm going to give this an A.
Same, lightweight. I think it looks really good. And as far as dress uniforms, I definitely prefer it. I think the blue looks better, but I prefer this, wearing this over the blue. So I'm gonna S. Andy?
Now I would say, God, I don't know, I'm a little. I think I like the new spin on the dress whites there with the piping, because we didn't have that. We just had the all white jumper there, but I kind of like the nice touch. It makes it more in line with the blues. Adding the piping there kind of gives just the right amount of, like, I don't know, flair or whatever to that uniform. Yeah, it was nice. It was new. It was lighter weight, breathed better in the summer months. It wasn't quite as bad. You had regular pants that you could poop in, or not poop in, but easily take off to poop in.
Don't want to poop in your dress white.
Never poop in your uniform.
They
Of
had
all the
the
uniforms to poop in.
Unless you're a monk.
yeah, they had the panty liner or whatever, in the pants or whatever. It had like the thing so it wouldn't show, like, if you had red underwear on
Oh
for no
yeah,
reason that day, kind of thing.
Yeah. I know
What's your
what you're talking
rating?
Let's go A as well, same as the blues.
You know,
It's different side of the same coin.
Josh?
Yeah, I agree with Andy. I'm gonna go with an A on that. It's traditional. I like the material. I wish I could find that material. It was kind of like a spongy,
there's not been a
stretchy
Navy
kind of.
uniform you haven't liked.
Do y'all remember that?
Polyester?
It was kind of like a stretchy material almost. It was really kind of a cool material.
Polyester?
But
It's
I
like
don't have that one no more. I don't know what happened to my
rayon or
dress
some shit. I
whites.
don't know.
Yeah,
Joe, what do you think?
Did he give his rating?
definitely an A though.
A.
Definitely an A.
Due to the fact that my hands are always sweaty, I have to give this thing an A, because my thighs were always kind of grimy in this thing, because I like to wipe my hands off and dirt would just, dude, I couldn't keep these fucking things clean for 10 minutes.
That's what, looking at this photo, all I
Yeah.
can think is like, why is that guy leaning on that stanchion? Like,
right. It's all
He's
dirty.
just
Yeah,
messing up the
everything's
uniform.
dirty as fuck, you idiot. Get off of it.
Yeah,
Don't
because
touch
it-
Don't
anything.
touch anything.
you got time to lean, you got time to clean.
Drew?
Yeah, right.
Drew?
I would have thought
All right,
white
so
uniform on a ship, on an industrial ship.
yeah, stupid
Ridiculous.
idea.
Yeah.
Second most traditional uniform, more comfortable than the blues for sure. Always scared to get this shit dirty. Anything you touch would get it dirty. Also, I think that the ladies love this uniform the most. I'm gonna give it an A.
They did.
Ari.
I did mine.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's about an A. So it's probably
Yeah.
in line with the blue. Sabrina.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's do the I don't know what it's called. Peanut butters, black and tans. Did it have a real name?
Navy
Peanut
work.
butters, as far as I know.
Yeah. I was like, I'm
Jesus,
pretty
that
sure
was
it
like a
wasn't called peanut
Marine.
butters or black and tans. But let's go with that. Because everybody wore that.
No, that was a you
Yeah,
Navy thing.
who actually wore it?
I did.
didn't-
Oh, I
you
did.
really?
I'm sorry.
Looks like a Marine.
It was comfortable. The only difference between the male and the female in this one was the blouses didn't get tucked in. They kind of like belled out at the bottom for, hips. But I feel like especially like everybody looked good in this uniform. Nobody looked like absolute trash, and it looks formal yet casual as far as you could do anything in this uniform, but you knew you weren't getting dirty, I guess.
Was it the same material as those dress whites? Kind of like that
Yeah, like that weird
stretchy
polyester, but
yeah.
it had some stretch, but not a ton. But it was very breathable and lightweight. And I feel like I'll give it a B because nobody hated it, nobody loved it. I felt like I looked
What
really
about the
good in it.
taco hat though? The
It always
taco
made
hat,
me
man.
walk really tall because the shoulders were squared off real good.
I hated this uniform. I wore it when I was in shore duty at Second Fleet. I don't know. It just coming from, the older style uniforms, and I was still in the Navy when they changed to this. It's a khaki top, like
Were
you
they
don't
all
want to do
short sleeve
that.
or was some long sleeve too?
short sleeve.
Just all
Um,
short sleeve.
All short sleeve.
It just felt pretend, and I'm giving it a D.
Well, you looked good in it.
Andy.
Yeah, not a uniform I wore, was issued or whatever. I like that essentially you got some mileage out of the Johnny Cash pants with this thing. I think it looked good. It was kind of one of those like, let's kind of be like a lot of the other armed services moves that made sense. The garrison cap is a good look. That generally being E6 and below you didn't get to wear. Outside of you could get that for the working blues, and that was cool. So like it was one that I never got to wear or nothing, but I think it looked good, and I give it a B because I give it a B. Like, it looked good. It wasn't anything special, but it served a purpose. It worked nice.
Josh.
I never had the opportunity to wear it, but I like the way it looks. The taco hat or whatever it's called. Am I saying that right? The little
Hmm.
Taco, yes, you're saying taco correctly.
I've never I've never enjoyed. I never did like that stupid hat. I never did like it. I just didn't like it. I just felt like I was at McDonald's serving burgers in 1940 or something like that.
What's your rating, Josh?
Dude, I'm right now at a D. D for dumb.
Josh. I mean Joe.
Oh.
Pretty simple. I don't like the idea of us folks wearing khaki. I just don't like it. Like there's a huge distinction of hatred and of just common like mistrust. I mean,
Mistrust.
the colors. These colors don't run, man. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll just give it a D. And plus, that stupid taco hat is like a fucking like sock. I don't know, like it's as effective as like an old timey dude's like pajamas with like the long sleepy cap. Like, what's the point of that? I hate this hat. It's always been dumb. Put a fucking ball cap on or put something else. I don't know. I remember there being specific human beings I can see with that hat on. And
And
I'm
I
just
know when
like,
I
This
w-
hat so
when I
much
need
because
that-
you didn't have to do the ladies the stupid hat.
Drew, what you got?
This is a fucking horrible uniform. First of all, let me just say, this looks like someone is in the army. I do not like this uniform at all. Or it looks like someone out of ROTC or some shit like that. I rate this F for fucking horrible.
Ari,
Okay, so Drew never wore this, and
Thank God.
it doesn't look like someone who would be in the Navy to me. Like, I agree with that. I also think the hat is dumb, and I give it an
F, you said?
yeah.
I know when I was looking for answers to a question, I did not go find somebody in a khaki outfit. I found somebody in a blue outfit.
I swear it was comfortable.
I mean, I don't
If it was
disagree with
blue,
that.
it would probably be all right.
I'm gonna choose the old school dungarees. I never wore them.
We should only
Denim
stick to it.
material, bell bottoms, and Dixie cup. I just think it looks fucking cool. When I
Yeah.
think of like old sailors working, working topside, cigarettes in their mouths,
Right. I agree.
cool tattoos. This is what I think of. It's still, I think it's still outdated, but I still think it looks pretty fucking cool. So I won't give it a high. I won't give it an S tier. I'll give it a B, a high B. But
Well, he's not wearing his rank. Does Seaman and Seaman Apprentice not wear rank on those?
it's just a default picture, Josh. I don't
Okay,
know.
Sorry.
I think it's like an
Andy.
Adobe stuff. thing.
This was the uniform that, you know, was a thing of legend, essentially, because everybody's like, man, dungarees are great. Like, you know, it's a shame they went to these shitty utilities. They used to stencil on or whatever, like the crows and some of that shit, which was cool. Or like your name tape was actually like stenciled on or whatever, I guess.
You
And,
draw it on.
yeah, which was like, you know, I don't know, convenient or something. It was, you know, less extra money to dump into a uniform that didn't last but 10 minutes. Yeah, it was, you know, it was denim jeans. So like, I heard they were like comfortable, like they were useful, they were durable and everything else. Like, yeah, it's the old school, like what you thought of like a dockside worker kind of thing. Like, yeah, I give it a B.
Josh.
Man, I was as jealous of the bell bottoms. I would totally like to sport those still. But I don't know, I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B.
Joe. You're didn't hear anything you said. No.
how about now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. The pants look great. B.
Drew.
Oh man. Um I just wish we could wear jeans and on the ship, man. Shit. This is
Yeah.
a great uniform. Also classic, super comfortable. Fucking B for wearing badass bell bottoms. Shit. Right?
Oh, what
Harry.
Yeah, I like this because it's very classic nostalgia. You know, my father-in-law's in the Navy, my grandfather's in the Navy, my great-grandfather was in the Navy. So I feel like they probably all got to wear these pants at some point in time, and they're pretty cool. So I'm gonna give it an A.
Sabrina.
Yeah, like everybody says, classic. It looks fairly comfortable. I do think jeans are pretty heavy for, the summer. Probably hot as fuck in the Mediterranean. But other than that, like, cool. I'm gonna give it a B.
Solid B all the way around. Back to Andy.
All right. Let's go with Johnny Cash.
Just 1 second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shrink these up.
All right.
Oh, hey, oh.
I've never seen these before.
Yeah, nobody ever wore them. That was the problem.
Yeah.
They were fucking badass though.
They
Yeah,
were
look
great.
Look at how great that is. And you could also wear it with the piss cutter if you wanted to opt for that.
What's that?
The Garrison cap, the taco,
Yeah.
the
That-
taco hat.
It's called a piss cutter? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would they call it that?
I don't know. That's what they call it, man.
Thank you for asking, Joe.
I didn't make up these names.
I've never
tell you
heard that
later.
before.
You'll tell me
I think
later.
you
I'll
should
tell you
explain
later.
it in detail.
I think
Well,
this
I
is
feel like
where
That
in
would
the
be interesting to
episode,
know.
like Sabrina jumps in and she's like, "So in the Navy, a piss
Yeah.
cutter."
We tried that at the beginning, and Adam got so annoyed with me.
That's not
That was
true
my favorite part.
whatsoever. I just didn't have time. Editing is a long process.
Oh, is that all it was?
Holy shit.
I just assumed you got really annoyed with me and didn't want to deal with it.
Andy, what are you rating
It's a
this?
piss cutter.
Yeah. This was. It should be an A, but it's a B because he never wore it. But it was a great looking uniform.
should
It
be
was
an A.
simple. It worked, but we never wore it. Like if it wasn't for, like what was it in training commands? You wear like a working uniform every other Friday because it was the working blues. Like you never would have wore it ever in your career. I don't think.
Was there a tie? There was an official tie with that.
Yeah, there was a
uniform,
tie.
wasn't
You
there?
had a tie. You had to
Okay.
learn how to tie the four-in hand knot, which everybody had somebody tie it for him in Tech Core, and then never untied it.
right.
Josh,
think I
what are you
still have
rating
it.
this?
Windsor.
Yeah.
Josh, what are you rating this?
I'm gonna rate it as a C. I never really enjoyed wearing it either. There was a lot of pieces, a lot of, it was a different material that kind of wrinkled a lot. And there was never a lot of times where we were required to wear it. So I really didn't enjoy that uniform. So I'm gonna rate it as a C.
Joe.
Is in the same plastic as the first time I got it dry cleaned back in probably as soon as I got to the ship in 03-ish. It's in Tupperware to my left here. I'm going to give it an E.
Wow.
All it did was take up space. I don't give a shit how good it looked. That's fantastic. Nobody can see it.
Was that the Johnny Cash or?
Drew.
I loved this uniform. We never wore it enough. I did enjoy wearing it with the piss cutter, as they say, but I did not like wearing it with the Dixie cup. But it was really cool because you could have like a tie clip with it. I thought it looked real slick. Awesome nickname. I will give it a B.
Ari.
So yeah, I don't feel like Drew wore this very much, but I know he wore it once to do like a talk at his sister's like middle school. That was his choice. He could have, and it was probably summer in Florida. And I think he picked this uniform because he liked it a lot. But yeah, I didn't wear it very much, but I did really like it. I think working blues and dress whites are like some of my two like top uniforms. It's like this look. So I'm gonna give it A.
Sabrina.
I don't really have any strong opinions about this uniform, so I'm going to give it a D because it sounds pretty useless.
As far as me, to me, I think this is like the dungaree version of the working blues. Like I could picture like just some old school sailor in like shore duty smoking cigarettes in classroom or something all the time. But it does, like when I look at this, it does absolutely nothing for me. So I'm giving it a C.
It is the working uniform of the guy that has been in the Navy for like 21 years and is still an E6
Yeah.
and just like hangs out on the smoke deck
Yeah.
and tells you how cool retirement's going to be.
Josh,
Very,
why don't
very
you pick the
appropriate.
next
He has
one?
I get to pick the next one.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Let's see here. What about the working whites?
Let's do it. What you got?
Terrible.
Plain Jane. You know, they were the same material as the dress whites. That kind of that spongy.
If you got the good
stretchy,
ones, you got issued shitty cotton ones.
Yeah.
I always like.
Oh yeah, I do remember those. I remember. I think I got issued cotton ones in boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, those were horrible to
Stiff, boy.
wash, to iron. Dude, very rarely wore this uniform. I'm going with the C on it.
See, Joe.
I like the toughness of this guy.
We're not rating the guy.
Oh, no,
we're
not
rating-
this guy. I mean, this guy's in the uniform. Those
Oh.
cotton ones, those things were tough as fucking nails, dude. I never did buy the new pair. The clean. I kept 6 years.
You always had the
same ones.
cottons, really?
Boot camp, bang, bang, bang,
That's
bang,
gross.
bang, dude. Because I never really wore them that much,
Right.
you know. And by the time I got. I mean, I don't know. That's not a bad uniform. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just trying to remember like how often I wore it, and then why I would never jump into the neoprenes or whatever the other uniforms are made out of.
Whatever the CNT was, yeah.
What do we wear that on a
But-
watch or something like that? Possibly.
I think every once in a while, maybe.
If
I'm
you
gonna
were,
go
like,
ahead and I'm
petty
gonna give
officer of the
that one
watch
a.
or something.
I'm gonna give that guy a. Oh shit! Let's go with a B. I like the short sleeves.
Drew.
I think this is like the milkman uniform.
Yeah.
Wasn't my favorite. I'd rather wear my dress whites if I was going to wear any whites. Also, with these and the dress whites, I also didn't point out, but you always have to wear like white underwear. You always have to make sure that you have white underwear with these, otherwise you look like an asshole on the
Yep.
ship.
Didn't have the
It's
panty
very
liner.
noticeable.
Very noticeable if you had any kind of colored undergarments,
Mm-hmm.
as they say these days. So yeah, I don't like this uniform. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna go C.
Harry.
Yeah, I do not like the short sleeves. I don't think that it looks like, I don't know, doesn't look sharp. And it's just kind of a dweeby uniform. Like the working blues are like so much superior. So I give it a D.
Sabrina.
I don't get the purpose of this uniform. Because if it's a working uniform, it's gonna get dirty, so it's white. It feels like a bad life choice.
Bad life
It looks like a baker, or I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this uniform. If you're gonna wear white, like there's other uniforms to wear to work in or dress up in. Like, why do you need this uniform at all? You don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one an E because I don't care about it.
I'm also I hated this uniform, and the CNT uniforms are fine, but like I did have to rock the 100% cotton white uniforms, and those are fucking miserable. And strictly because of that reason, I'm giving this uniform an E. Andy.
Yeah, it's the ice cream man uniform. It was kind of shitty. It was white and got dirty like instantly. The cottons were like not very. They were super lightweight, but they looked like ass. And cheap, unless you sprung the money for the CNTs, but you know, who's gonna do that when you're standing topside rover all the time anyway? So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So, short sleeves was a plus, but yeah, it's. I'll give it a D.
All right. Joe. No. Yeah, is it Joe? You're next.
Let's go with that. Whatever there's on the very top.
This guy?
I don't even know what that is. Yeah.
What?
NWU's Type 1.
The Digis.
Oh, okay.
This replaced the
Um,
utilities.
Okay, so this is what they wear in lieu of utilities these days.
Not anymore,
This
but
is-
they did.
Oh, okay. And so this was like was this like the same type of camo that we got like when we were like bitching and over
No, this is digital. Those are more of the old school desert.
yeah, they were desert camo, but was it like the same material?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, rad. Okay, number one, it's stupid as shit. Period. It's fucking
This
dumb.
guy looks goofy up in front.
Camo on the open
am
seas, huh?
Does
Alright,
he have
cool.
a sword?
Yes.
Yeah, it must have been.
Oh, that's a sword. I thought that was like a cane. I
No,
thought he
it's
was
a cutlass. It
blind.
must have been some kind of drill
Probably
team.
fighting
something
those
going
Greek
on.
gods or something. Zeus. or
Okay. Anyway,
Focus on the
so-
uniform.
Okay,
Please.
so there's a guy with a sword, and yeah, no, there's absolutely no. I don't understand the thought process behind digital camo on a ship, but whatever. I don't. I think that's ridiculous. I think the whole concept of the BDUs are ridiculous on board a ship.
You may see the ship, but you don't see the crew.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
What's your rating?
That's, geez, man, F. No, E. Just because they look like they're comfortable, sort of.
Yeah.
Drew.
These are horrible. Also, F. Fuck these. Why would you ever want camo on a ship? First of all, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's just like a lame attempt to be like, like let's wear
Reeks
camo.
of government overspin.
Yeah, fuck you. Give
For
me my
some fucking
coveralls.
reason. Are you serious?
Yeah, these are just like
I agree. It's
Horrible.
Some
disappointing.
dickhead guy has a job because it's, and meanwhile, I'm flipping copies at fucking like this guy. Oh,
well, they
man.
didn't last long, I believe. They didn't last very long, so I don't think he has a job much longer. Because I don't think they
It
don't
lasted
wear
like
these.
12 years or something.
Ari.
Oh, fuck, I've been out for a long time.
What did you rate it? Oh, no.
F. Fuck
Okay.
them.
Okay. and also, like, my time around the Navy indoctrinated me to also hate this idea because I believe this conversation has happened previously, like 20 years ago ish. So, yeah, I feel like whenever anyone in this group of people would see someone walking around the mall in camo, it was like they were going to have things to say about that, and did not like the idea of anyone in the Navy wearing camo. So I'm just going to give it an F.
Sabrina.
So, like I said earlier, didn't have utilities. This is what I got. So this was the uniform I ran around boot camp in. So I don't know if I don't mind it because it was what I had to wear all the time and I just got used to it, but it's heavy. There's a lot of parts. You got to wear those stupid blousing straps that were just cutting into your ankle all the time. And we had those giant pockets that you weren't allowed to put anything in.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Right.
I like
Of course.
they were functional, but I liked other uniforms better. And
Did you get a
Yeah.
sword?
did I get I did not get a sword issued with my uniform.
Girls
That
got
was
daggers.
So
Shirt in.
cool.
Girls got
Um,
daggers.
The hats were I hated the hats too because you couldn't keep them from crinkling. We didn't wear ball caps. I don't know why these guys are wearing ball caps. Probably the command, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna give this like I don't know, B, just because this is what I wore all the time and I got really comfortable in it, but it did have a lot of drawbacks.
Unfortunately, I did have to transfer to this uniform, and so I'll go on a tiny little bit of a rant. If Andy gets a
One
rant,
sentence.
I get a rant. What I like about the Navy is that, you know, we went to work, we did our maintenance, we did all this. We're not PTing, we're not fucking shooting guns all day, we're not doing all that. We're going to work, getting off, drinking 40s, and then going back to work the next day. When this uniform was uncomfortable, it was stupid. You had to blouse the bottoms and stuff like that. It felt like we were playing military instead of actually being in the military, and it was fucking stupid. I'm not gonna give it all the way an F, I'm gonna judge it harshly. I'm gonna give it an E. Andy.
That's
It was a good idea, but like, I don't know, poorly executed. I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get like we want the blue, you know, thing going to against like the ship and the horizon and everything. So you won't see fucking us yahoos walking around, but like, you go overboard, it's just that much harder to find you. You're fucked. So like,
I know a guy who went overboard.
yeah, he's probably not here anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, because he was camouflaged into the water.
Disappointed.
Rest in peace though. But anyways, D, yeah.
Josh.
Man, they look really comfortable because of the blouse and everything.
If you need a
You know, the
minute,
top
it's
part
okay.
and go ahead. What? But I never got to experience these. My personal, I think they were like transitioning this when I was getting out. I was upset when they first came out with these. I was like, man, you know, that's what I like about the Navy. Is they've always had their own unique uniforms as opposed to other branches of the military. And I was like, I was just really against it, and I just didn't feel like that was the Navy thing. It looks too much like the Army or the Coast Guard or something like that. You know, I'm like, ah. So I'm gonna give it down. Like I'm gonna give it like an E.
Feel like the people that designed these uniforms later on, maybe they didn't have a grandpa in the Navy, or
Yeah.
Right.
you know, I don't mean it as a joke either. I mean, like, to be dead serious, like maybe they just don't like, you know, and that goes with a lot of
Tradition's
things
important.
in the world today. Like, you know, a lot of people appreciate things that, you know, other people before them have appreciated, and then some people that, you know, that might just not really give a fuck about it.
It was like an unnecessary uniform change for sure. Like they could have just updated the utilities.
You know, like utilities with jeans. Are you shitting me?
What is it now?
Dumb.
Who's next?
It's like slacks, but I'm just saying, like, you know, it's almost like, and you see this drastic change all of a sudden in like a certain year. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. You know, everything was very gradual, and then all of a sudden it was like, no, we're not going to tuck in our fucking shirts anymore, and we're going to wear digital camo. That way, our fat fucking high school kids don't look like they're fat fucking high school kids sailing the deck of the ship.
Shirt tucked in.
No, you had to look presentable. This goddamn blouse shit now? Come on, dude.
Oh, because you had to wear those t-shirts underneath is what I'm thinking about.
You know, I mean,
And
like,
those had
I
to
don't
be
know.
tucked in.
It's just so I don't know. It like that bothers me a whole lot. Not tucking in your shirt. I don't tuck in my shirt now, but I'm also not trying to like represent like an entire force of people. I'm trying to look like a dipshit from the 90s.
It was a bad attempt to look like the military.
Well, we're not done yet.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, it's good.
Who's next? Drew?
I guess, yeah, are we going next? I'll go with the camos on the bottom there.
These are the updated version.
This is what
So
they
these
wear
are
now?
Yes.
This is worse.
Really, this is the current
Type 3.
working uniform for the U.S. Navy.
If I did my extensive research says yes.
Lord have mercy.
all right. So I work with students that are also like still in the military. So I know a couple of people who still wear this uniform, and I've seen pictures of this uniform. And one of the things that I really just like about this uniform is your rating badge is like right in the middle of your chest, and it's still it's like black. So it stands out. It's ridiculous. It doesn't look like it makes sense at all. I think it's like one up from yeah, I don't even think it's on
like
that.
that little tag, it would go around that little tag.
Yeah, but it's
Like the army does that.
Their
yeah,
rank goes there though, not their rating.
I'll send you a
Yeah.
picture.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's your rank. It's the rank. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Rank like 240s basically. So
Playing military, but
right.
anyways.
I don't. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent. I don't mean to. I don't like this uniform at all. Again, I think it's a poor attempt to be like fake military. Like, just be the Navy. Give us our dress uniforms. We're sailors. We're not soldiers. This looks like a soldier's or a Marines uniform. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm gonna give this an E. Only because it's not blue.
Ari.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a Navy uniform. I think that's weird. So I don't like it, and I don't understand the digital camo over like regular camo anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an F.
Sabrina.
All the reasons already said. F.
Same, all the reasons already said, except at least the other uniform was blue, which is Navy
thing.
like, I spent 10 years, I didn't fall off a boat, so at least I had a blue uniform. But F. Andy.
Yeah, I give it an E. I mean, like, it's ugly. Again, like, I get the idea, like, yeah, we should have like a cami uniform or something, kind of makes sense here in the military. Like, it's the nice thing about the camis in general is that like a pen mark or something, little like imperfections don't really show up because it's just kind of all blends into the material design in that respect. So like there's that, but it was really kind of didn't make any sense to have this, I don't even, weird like off-season woodland kind of thing going. So yeah, I don't know what they decided to do that for.
What was your rating?
E.
Josh. Josh, can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Much like they hate to tell you, it looks like a Marine uniform, and the
Yeah.
Marines are a part of the Navy. So
They're a part
really
of us.
should be-
We're not a part of them.
it really should be part of. It should be opposite. They should be dressing like us, not them dressing like us. But that looks horrible. That doesn't look like a Navy uniform at all.
What's your rating?
I'm gonna give that an F, man. F for fucked up.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe.
An F for phony. It's a phony naval uniform.
Yeah.
It's a
Joe
it's
was
a
a gunner's
phony.
mate.
It's a phony person that invented the idea of this uniform. This person has no, the person that brought this to the table. Definitely, there is no I guess maybe blood in the game.
Is that phony? F-O-N-E? Is that how you spell that? Phony?
Phoney.
Oh, F-O-N-E.
Get it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh, you can't even
And,
misspell phony.
Did we switch to these when it was the CMC under
What about swatting 1,000 files?
Get out of here, man. Get outta here,
Under
you
Admiral
crazy
Richardson?
dickhead.
Crazy timid.
Last but not least, this is the dinner dress
dress.
uniform. Ari, can you start us off?
Well, I've never seen this. What is the purpose of this uniform?
I've never seen
If
this
you go to
either.
the Navy ball, you wear this uniform, and that's the
Uh-huh.
How do
only
you
time
get
you
to
do it.
go to? How do you go to the Navy?
Never seen
ball?
anybody wear this uniform.
You could get married in this. There's
Also,
for
yeah.
the fancy.
Would you pick this over your dress blues to get married in? No.
Could you wear this over your dress? Like, could you? Like,
It was you wore it
No,
for
this
like,
is
yeah, it
for,
was like
like,
literally the Navy ball because
Did
you would
you
wear the
have
mini
it?
medals
Okay.
and yeah,
Right.
like it's a
If-
weird thing.
Hate that
It's
bullshit.
for fancy functions.
But you
Yeah.
didn't have to have it.
No.
Yeah, you were never issued it. If you wanted
could
it, you
just go
bought it.
buy. And then, okay, I have more questions, but I won't ask them now. I give it an F. It's weird.
Sabrina.
I've never seen this in person. I was never privy to those fancy events. So F. It looks uncomfortable on the dude. I'm sure it's like twice as uncomfortable on a woman. So F all the way.
Yeah, this is for fancy functions. Really like Joe Navy ding dongs would wear this to their, seaman apprentice Doobie would wear this to his marrying his high school sweetheart. And
Probably
it's
not though,
cheesy.
because like you would have had to buy it, and so he didn't
Yeah.
have the money.
Despite its cheesiness and stuff, I'll just give it a solid C. It's still a uniform.
No, I testified in court while I was in the Navy, and they just made me wear my regular dress blues.
Fancy.
Yeah, I think
it's not. You're thinking
females just didn't
You know-
have a dinner dress uniform.
Well, I
think
mean, it
they just
feels
went
really
to the
formal to
mini
be in a
medals.
courtroom, so I was curious.
not formal.